Is it unconstitutional for a state to require special circumstances before it will issue a permit to carry a gun? What does the Second Amendment really mean when it says the right to bear arms? To find out, you have to read New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, Inc. versus Bruen. But it's 33 pages. Don't have time for that. I've got you covered. We're about to unpack this pivotal case, dissecting its details, context, and impact. So, grab a seat, and let's unravel the complexities of constitutional law together. Stay tuned as we dive into this landmark case. Welcome to TLDR, where I cover New York Court of Appeals cases in 5 minutes or less. But this is part of a special series I'm doing on landmark cases. Today we're focusing on the case of New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, Inc. versus Bruen, published by the United States Supreme Court on November 3rd, 2021. The issue at the heart of this case is the constitutionality of New York's firearm licensing requirements. Let's delve into the background law that helps us understand this case. To fully comprehend this case, we need to understand the Second Amendment and its interpretation. The Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, part of the Bill of Rights, enshrines the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Historically, its interpretation has been the subject of heated debates. The core question has always been, does the Second Amendment protect an individual's right to own guns, or does it only guarantee the right of states to maintain militias? In the landmark ruling of District of Columbia versus Heller in 2008, the Supreme Court held that the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to possess a firearm, unconnected with service in a militia. However, the court also clarified that this right is not unlimited and does not prohibit all forms of gun control. This interpretation, along with the ongoing debate around gun control, forms the legal backbone of the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, Inc. versus Bruen case. With this legal background, let's look at the facts of this case. The facts of this case revolve around New York's firearm licensing requirements. Here's the lowdown. The plaintiff, New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, Inc., is an organization advocating for gun rights. The defendant, Keith M. Bruen, is the superintendent of New York State Police. The bone of contention? A New York law that requires residents to demonstrate proper cause to be able to get a permit to carry firearms in public. The law's interpretation is that proper cause equates to a special need for self-protection, distinguishable from that of the general community. The plaintiffs argued that this provision violated the Second Amendment, which guarantees the right to keep and bear arms. So, here was the scenario. The association's members applied for licenses to carry firearms for self-defense, but they were denied because they couldn't demonstrate a special need for self-protection. They believed this denial infringed upon their constitutional rights, sparking the lawsuit. These facts led to a legal battle that began in the lower courts. This case has a rich procedural history. It began its journey in the district courts, where the initial ruling sided with the state of New York. Not satisfied, the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association appealed the decision, bringing it to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. The appellate court, in an interesting turn, upheld the district court's decision. With 2 strikes, the case was then taken to the highest court of the land, the United States Supreme Court. This led to a final decision from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's ruling had significant implications for the interpretation of the Second Amendment. The court held in a 5-4 decision that the state of New York's requirement that individuals demonstrate a special need for self-protection distinguishable from that of the general community was unconstitutional. The majority opinion argued that the requirement was too restrictive and infringed upon the Second Amendment rights of individuals. However, not all justices were in agreement. The 4 dissenting justices argued that the requirement was a reasonable regulation and did not infringe upon the Second Amendment. They pointed out that the requirement served a legitimate public safety interest and that the court had previously upheld similar regulations. The divide in the Supreme Court reflects the ongoing debate surrounding the interpretation of the Second Amendment and the balance between individual rights and public safety. This ruling has had a significant impact. The impact of this case extends beyond the parties involved. It has left an indelible mark on the legal landscape, influencing subsequent decisions and shaping policy. It has been a touchstone in discussions about the balance between individual rights and public safety, particularly in the realm of gun control. Moreover, it has played a significant role in shifting public opinion, sparking conversations about the interpretation of the Second Amendment. This case has become a key reference point used to argue both for and against restrictions on the right to bear arms. It has helped to define the limits of this constitutional right, prompting lawmakers, legal scholars, and the public to reevaluate their understanding of the Second Amendment. This case continues to shape our understanding of the Second Amendment. If you like what you just saw and want to see more just like it, please hit like or subscribe to let me know.